Alright guys, this is Donnie with Survivor Knot with our next episode. So what we're going to go over now, I call this a king cobra. You guys can call it like a cobra with a runner or whatever you want to do. So remember, every inch of our bracelet is a foot of rope. So this is going to be one continuous strand of black. Alright, we're going to measure this out, probably about 8.5, 9 feet of cord. We've got our buckle here. We're just going to load our ends into the top of the buckle, pull it down. So then now we have our little hoop here. Feed your two loose ends through the buckle and pull it snug. Alright. So then with our loose ends again, we're going to feed it down through the top of the buckle. We're going to separate our bracelet. Alright. We're going to get our ruler here. We're going to measure this out. So we're about 8.5 inches here. Alright, so we're just going to half it. We're going to start our first knot. So this is where it gets tricky, is when you're just using a single color rope. Alright, so we started our first knot. Alright, we didn't cinch it up or anything yet, because what we're going to do is we're going to introduce our separate runner plate piece. So this piece, since we only have like an 8.5 inch bracelet here, this piece only probably needs to be about 12 inches long. So what we're going to do is we're going to feed out the top loop, and we're just going to bring that little piece down through our first knot and then cinch everything back up. Alright, so that's what we're looking at right there. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to lay that runner down. Since our first loop started on the left, now we have to make a loop on the right. So we make our loop and we pull that through and snug it up. Okay? So now you just want to dress everything back up, bring your runner back over top, snug that down, and that's what we're looking at. So what we're going to do is we're going to go every other. So then, since we just made our loop over top of our blue line, make a loop on the left hand side and then feed our cord underneath that blue. Okay? Alright, so then now our knot on the right hand side, and now we're going to go over top of our blue runner. And then cinch that down. Make sure your blue line is staying in line. Okay? Alright, and remember, we got to pack our rope. So cinch it down. Dress up our blue line. Okay, so then now we're back underneath. You guys can flip this over top if it helps you remember. We're going under our blue runner. Cinch that down. Okay? So then now we're going to go back over top. And cinch that down. Okay. Pack our rope. Tug on our blue line. Alright, and that's what we have so far. Okay. So, keep going back and forth. And then now, this is what we have. So how are we going to finish it? So when you get towards the end, you want enough room, because you're going to feed this piece back through where your two center cords come up together. Okay? Just like this. Alright. So then now, this is the back of the bracelet. We're going to catch that rope. We're going to make our knot. Okay, cinch that down. Pack our rope, pack our bracelet. And then we're going back under, so where this big loop's at. Then cinch that down. Okay. So do we have it? So then we're just going over and under our loop there. So I'm going to speed this up just to show you guys right where we get at the end. Keeping everything in line. Cinch this back up. Okay. Now we're at our last knot here. So you keep everything in line. Alright, so we put in our last knot. So here's what we have underneath. So all we're going to do, take this blue line and pull it. See it snugged everything up there? Okay. So then we're right at the end of our bracelet. Act your rope. If you can squeeze another knot, fit another knot in there, just go ahead. Okay? Alright. So here's the secret sauce again. 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. And then a horizontal melt. And then we're just burning this down. And then just letting the volcano kind of roll down to end up making that little button there. So then there's our little button. There's our little button. Okay, so then now we have this center piece. We're going to cut this kind of flush. So that's our little tail. Introduce heat again. Okay. We're not smashing anything, we're not rolling anything. All we're doing is letting the cord kind of do the work. Alright, so then there is our little button. And then there's our bracelet. Okay? So then you're going to kind of QA your work. Make sure there's no rough edges, any kind of rigid, anything that's going to be uncomfortable wear. Because if it's uncomfortable for you, it's going to be uncomfortable for whoever you made this for. So here we go, our thin blue line bracelet. Alright, so here's some other designs. This is with a 2-color, with the same thing that we just did. Okay, so now with this one, we did every other one, right? So this one, we did every 2. Every 2, every 2. Okay, so then this one, we have 2 runners. So instead of just 1 blue line, now we have 2 white lines. And all we're doing is kind of crisscrossing. Okay? So just play around with it, come up with new things. Alright, hope this helps. www.surviveornot.com. Remember, like it down at the bottom, share it. Alright, talk to you later.